Hi there. Well, the power to stay healthy is finally out. And so, this book is a book we've been waiting for. A number of persons have been waiting for this book, but thank God it's finally out. And I want to take time to do a summary of this book because I know doing this summary will help you to understand what this book is all about so that when you are going for this book, you know that you are going for something that is indeed power to stay healthy. You know, the name is power to stay healthy. So if it does not convey the power to stay healthy, there is no need giving in that book. So the book Power to Stay Healthy is about 14 chapter, and I'm going to take time to summarize or to give highlights on each of the chapters. Now, the chapter one of this book has to do with cardiovascular diseases. Many diseases in the human body point to cardiovascular disease, which we call CVD. It's a class of diseases that involve the heart or blood vessels. When we say cardiovascular, we're talking about the heart and blood vessel. It's also, some of them include coronary artery disease, such as angina and myocardial infarction. Other CVD include stroke, heart failure, hypertensive heart disease, rheumatic heart disease, cardiomyopathy, abnormal heart rhythms, and congenital heart disease. All of these are what we call, but they are not limited to this anyway, but just for the purpose of time, I just had to limit my summary to this few. But the book goes ahead to talk about the risk factor. You know, that when you hear somebody talks about heart disease, there are certainly risk factor, and the risk factor for, thrombosis include smoking. For those who are smoking, remember, smoking is a risk factor. Obesity is a risk factor. And then high blood pressure for somebody, affected by high blood pressure is a potential factor or risk factor for heart disease. And then increased levels of cholesterol for some people who may not even care to check their cholesterol. Cholesterol problem is a risk factor for heart disease. And then diabetes condition, diabetes mellitus, is equally a risk factor for heart disease. And then increased age or aging is another risk factor for heart disease. And then family history. Yes, we cannot rule out the what we call genetically predisposed condition is that contribute a lot to a number of health problems. And then we also look at physical inactivity as a factor or risk factor, an increased concentration of blood regulation or coagulation factors, as a risk factor. And then we also look at serum blood lipid. So a number of health problems contribute to what we call heart disease. So that you will not just look at heart disease as a singular problem. Okay, there are contributing factors. And then in chapter 2, no, I did not stop at there. I also profess solution to these heart diseases. But this solution is not orthodox. It is complementary medicine. It's what I practice. It is my field known as medical nutrition therapy. As a dietitian, having seen what, poor dietary intake contribute to a number of health challenges, I have also gone a long way to profess solution to a number of these heart diseases, which we have been able to help so many people. And so here in this book, you have the solution. Wow, what a good news. And then in chapter 2, I talk about principles of health. And then in principles of health, one of the principles of health is what we call principle of knowledge. And then knowledge is defined as general awareness of possession of information, fact, ideas, truths, or principles. It can also be said to be a familiarity of understanding gained through study or experience from the foregoing. So there is no way you talk about health without talking about knowledge. Okay? So in this book, we try to look at, or I try to look at a number of things, including knowledge. Don't forget that I always mention this, that we need education than medication. That is why knowledge is very important. So knowledge is grossly indispensable in all facets of life and existence. So, in anything that you wish to do, seek knowledge. Knowledge about any concept enables you to take wise or informed decision. Okay, so chapter 2, we dwell so much on how you can allow your knowledge to come to play when it comes to the issue of health. The issue of health requires adequate knowledge. Any other thing in life, or than any other thing in life. So, knowledge about health, it should put you in the front burner, thereby placing you in advantageous position over others. So when you are armed with the knowledge of what to eat at a given point in time and its corresponding nutrients, where to obtain health advice or care, and what to do in terms of treatment and medication, you stand a better chance of recovering from major illnesses. So that is what, so when you read, you will see a number of things I talk about in terms of knowledge. Then in chapter 3, I talk about detoxification. That is, you have the need for detoxification. And then I also went ahead to talk about what detoxification is all about. And then detoxification is removing or transforming poison, the process of removing a toxic substance from something, or counteracting the effects. Okay, so it also means treatment for addicts, which is the process of subjecting someone or somebody or yourself for withdrawal. Okay, withdrawal from toxin or additive substance such as alcohol or drugs or some other unhealthy food substances. Okay, so and the colon is part of the digestive system, which you probably know that there is wide variety of benefit from having healthy digestive system. Most times I talk about healthy digestive system, and so when you have a healthy digestive system, you gain so much. Okay, so the main purpose of colon cleanse is to eliminate accumulation of toxins and improving absorption of nutrients into your body. Colon detoxification can help you lose excess weight. Can you see why you need this book so importantly? Improve bowel function, and at the end, improve your overall health and well-being. Other issues colon cleanse can help you do are relieving constipation and diarrhea, promote regular bowel movement, improve the immune system, and boost your energy level. So I talk a number of things. I made a number of recommendations about what to do to improve on your gut, your digestive health, and then the benefit of detoxification and all of that. So that is what chapter 3 talks about. And then in chapter 4, I went ahead to talk about physical activity. You see, a number of people are living sedentary life, and sedentary life is inimical to our health or sound health. So physical exercise involves engaging in physical activity and increasing the heart rate beyond resting level. Most people leave their heart at resting level, but what we need is to raise the heart rate to activity level where it will pump maximally. So it is important part of preserving physical and mental health when you are very, very active. So whatever you engage in, light exercise such as going for a walk or high intensity activities, for example, uphill cycling or weight training, regular exercise provides a huge range of benefit for the people and for the body and mind. So taking part in exercise of any intensity every day is essential for preventing a range of diseases and other health benefit. Wow, what are you waiting for? So I am going to look at chapter 5. Chapter 5 is talking about spiritual warfare. And somebody may be asking, what does spiritual warfare has to do with health? Oh, no wonder you pray. So many people pray even more than taking their drugs because they have faith in God healing them. And so that is why in this book, I did not ignore spiritual aspect of our health. So I went ahead to talk more about spiritual warfare, and that indeed is in prayer. We need to awake in consciousness to attack the devil, whose major plan is distraction. Spiritual warfare is capable of destabilizing the enemy's, onslaughts. Did you know that spiritual warfare is capable of destabilizing the enemy's strategic onslaught, diffusing Satan's plot of darkness, and destroying the arm of caprice of the opposition. Spiritual warfare resources or reassures that the battle is not only physical but spiritual. It goes ahead to reinstate confidence in God's word and God's ability to dethrone and destroy the enemy. Thank God you pray. But some of us are praying targetless prayer. Here in this book, I have given you an insight. I've given you a key on how to pray a targeted prayer so that your warfare prayer will be indeed effective. So spiritual warfare employs God's method, okay, to demystify the enemy's allied forces. It is trusting God through fasting, prayer for healing from sickness. Honestly. So that is why, for those of you who pray and trust God for healing, of course, a number of persons who have intensive faith have been getting healing. So reading this book and then going through this aspect of spiritual warfare will indeed enhance your faith. Now, chapter 6 talks about keeping faith. It goes ahead to buttress what we talk about in chapter 5. Now it says, take it and use it. So that's exactly what you have to do if you want to obtain healing. Okay, so in fact, in every area of life, obtaining victory boils down to one thing. Just take God at His word. What He says, what is written in His word, is the absolute truth, and it really will work if you will only take hold of it. The fact of the matter is, healing is not a problem to the Lord. The only hard part is getting people to believe what He has said about it so that they can receive their healing. God says a number of things in His word. He says a number of things in His word, and those who believe these things that God says get healing. But that you must not put your faith only in that. There are a number of other things you must do to complement your faith. Of course, you will hear all of that in this book when you read it through. So God has given each of us the choice. He said, it's this way. I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life that both thou and thy seed may live. Okay? So we must choose to take what God has offered. We must do that by force. That is chapter 6. Then in chapter 7, I complement that particular chapter as a follow-up to that, with the title, The Healing Agent Called Love. The healing agent called love. Okay, so we define love by thinking of what it means to you. The dictionary defines love in several ways in which we use the word. For example, love is a strong positive emotion of affection, of pleasure, or objects of warm affection or devotion or liking. These are numerous ways by which the dictionary, defines love. Now, love is a healing agent because it is energetic. Did you know that love is energetic? It is. Frequency, which is stronger than other emotions and is the foundation of universal order. Of course, your body is your subconscious mind, and you can't heal it by talk alone. Affirm the neuroscientists and pharmacologists Condes Part. The name of the man Condes Part, who talks, who talk much about love. So look at how the ancient Greek broke down love into their categories. When you hear about the ancient Greek scholars, they broke down love into categories, and then they took time to look at agape, which is unconditional love. Agape is unconditional love. It is love by choice, even if you are not pleased. A good example is God's love to us, that is the agape love. And then philia is charity or brotherly love, guided by our likes, okay, our healthy or unhealthy needs and desires. This is why Philadelphia is called the city of brotherly love. For those of you who have been to Philadelphia, it is a city of brotherly love. All right, and then the third one is starch. Starch. Okay, so the word familiar love and the physical show of affection, the need for physical touch. Sometimes it is love between exceptional friends. Exceptional friends. You may understand what I'm trying to mean there in that kind of love. And then the other one is eros. Eros is a physical, sexual desire, intercourse. It is a root word of erotic and eroticism. Okay, so these are the various kinds of love when we talk about love. Now, when you read the book is going to give you more detailed information about, love, how love is related to healing, how love can bring about your healing. In chapter 8, as a dietitian, I talk about classes of food. And then I'm always asked by many of my clients, the question, what then shall I eat? You know why they're asking this question? Because they have something in mind already. Some of them eat gari, some eat fufu, some eat rice, some eat beans. But there are things in their life they've never made an attempt. So when we talk about the classes of food, we try to incorporate all classes of food in order to ensure healthy living. Because I am an advocate of eating food as medicine. And I'm an advocate of, helping people to get healed only with food. So as a result, you cannot get healed only with food when your food is not totally balanced. So there must be a total balance in all your daily food. So this often asked question is in readiness to change from eating junk to quality food. I don't know what you do eat, but honestly, by this book, your mentality and your regular practice of junk food must change. That food is in their classes. Food is in their classes. So the constituents of quality food is what I want to dwell on here. That if you look at the creation, our Father, the creator of heaven and earth, and indeed the maker of man, created man with specific direction. That is what I call maker's manual. Maker's manual on what to eat. Okay, so the reason every dietary intake should constitute all the top classes, all the top 7 classes of food for healing and and healthy living. Anyway, number 1 class of this food is water. Did you ever know that water is a class of food? And then vitamins, minerals, protein, fats, and then fiber, carbohydrate. All right, that is the seven classes of food. So if truly your food must complete, that seven classes of food must be incorporated. So in Genesis 1, verse 29, for those of you who are studying Bible or Bible students, God said there, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, okay, and every tree in the which is a fruit yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. I will not go a step further, but I believe that when you read the book, you're going to get a detail of the classes of food there and all the recommendations I made therein. Then in chapter 9, I went a step further to talk about handling the menace of diabetes without medication. Did you ever know that diabetes can be treated and cured without orthodox drugs? That is why this book is very important. That is why you must recommend this book to families and friends. Okay? Handling the menace of diabetes without medication. So, as a health advocate, I am not here to discredit anybody who is involved in various methods and in business, okay, of health. I'm here as a child of circumstance whose gift and calling have, in shortest possible time, contributed immensely to solving, and saving lives that would have lost. There are so many lives that would have lost, but by our intervention, okay, these lives are today living to the glory of God. So I promise God that I will do more. Honestly, I will do more because I'm doing a lot more of researches in order to provide health solution to a number of persons who are in their various health conditions. Now, let's look at the disaster that is in chapter 9 of disaster of diabetes. People ask, what is diabetes? And I try to give short answer that diabetes is a disease in which sugar and starch are not properly absorbed by the body. Sugar and starch are not properly absorbed by the body. As simple as that. Your sugar, okay, and the starch that are contained in your food are not properly absorbed. They stop, somewhere. They are not absorbed into the cells world so as to be utilized by the body. So the pancreas of the endocrine system located on the kidney produces the chemical substance called insulin. So when you talk about diabetes mellitus, insulin is a culprit here. So insulin is responsible for the converting the sugar and starch to energy in the body. So if the insulin is eventually being inflamed with the excess sugar in the body, it can no longer, as usual, sensitize the molecules and therefore result in insulin deficiency, which is a diabetes condition. I may not go any further because I know the book is going to give you the in-depth knowledge of what you are looking for. And it will also provide solution to this problem called diabetes mellitus. Okay? All right. So in chapter 10, I give you what I may call my health manual, health recovery program. This one is original, the secret to good health. Our health reform program, what I call diet and health. Diet and health. Our company's name is Diet and Health. That is what I actually call diet and health, which is carefully programmed to help you eliminate suicidal mission, self-destruction. That you may not have known that so many people are suffering from self-destruction, suicidal mission, which comes as a result of poor dietary intake. Okay? So the enumerated list here will help you immensely if you carefully follow it. I want to believe that with this book, each time you read this book, you'll be smiling and nodding your head and giving glory to God for the writer who took time to put down a number of things in this book. Okay? So you start by obeying God and His word. That's what I recommend here. And avoid sedentary living. That means you must do exercise. You have to eliminate waste. What is waste? There are so many waste properly, waste product that we take into our system, or what we may call junk. Okay? And then you have to, in embarking on this program, because this place has to do with how you can take healthy living program to be able to eliminate, some problems. So in doing this, you will eliminate your waste properly. If you follow the program, you should defecate nothing less than once a day if you want to be healthy. Every living soul must defecate once a day, at least once a day. Some may do it 2 times a day. You have to eat 30% cooked food. That is what I recommend here. 30% cooked food and 70% uncooked food. That is raw food. When we say raw food, we're talking about fruit and vegetables, assorted types. But there are certain illnesses I recommend, that those people who are suffering from one major illness or the other must meet a dietitian so that you'll be able to be given a guideline on what to eat and what not to eat, because even at that, it's not all fruit and vegetables that you must eat. There are some health conditions that will make you to select some fruit and vegetables. Okay, so avoid refined salt. That's what I recommend here. Avoid refined salt, and then avoid refined salt and refined sugar. Avoid consumption of frozen as embalmed food. Oh my God, is it possible in this area where we have no food in Nigeria? Okay, and then avoid chemicalized food. Chemicalized food are packed in bottle and you drink them in the name of drink. They are called chemicalized food. Some of them are spices that you put in your food. You may not know the danger you're doing to yourself. Avoid gluttony, overeating, even though the food is free. Avoid that. And then avoid eating refined, devitalized, and denatured food. There are food that, in course of processing, have been denatured. Okay, denatured means that it's no longer the original as it used to be. So that is why you must, follow it religiously. Then in chapter 11, oh my God, I talk about our wonderful body. No wonder the man of God in the Bible, the psalmist, said, "Praise God for fearfully and wonderfully made." The man had, a vision to look into the spiritual realm and then the physical realm of the structure of a man. Oh my God. So here, our body is structured into a system for effective performance of activities. These systems are, number one, you have interrudimentary system. That's number one. You also have what is known as the reproductive system. And then you also have what is known as the excretory system. Oh my God, these are different systems working together to make us healthy. And then you have urinary system. You also have what is known as immune system. Oh God, immune system. These are different systems in our body. I talk more about all these systems in this book. And then we also have the lymphatic system. And then we have the skeletal, or the other term could be called musculoskeletal system, the skeletal system. And then you have also the muscular system. You have the endocrine system. Okay, you have the respiratory system. You have the respiratory system. You have the digestive system. You also have the nervous system. You have the cardiovascular system. Oh, yes. You have the circulatory system. And finally, you have the sensory system. About 15 systems working together in our body system to help us live a healthy life. Okay, so now I'm talking about the system. God created the human body and then endowed it with all the systems. Each system in the body has its own basic function and also complement other system for the overall benefit of our body system. Okay, so if you truly want your body to serve you well and guarantee maximum performance, okay, which will systematically nourish the body, repair dying cells, effect healing where necessary, and ensure effectiveness, you need to comply with God as a major stakeholder of your health in food. Food application is what you need. If this system must work perfectly and keep you healthy, you must work, you must, comply with the food application, spiritual matters. Some people may not take spiritual matters seriously, but I tell you, you must work in synergy with spiritual things, in synergy with the physical things too. That is a starting point on the issue of health. And then in chapter 12, I talk about, oh my God, the process to reverse diseases. This is where people have issues. How can I reverse this problem? I've been taking drugs. I've been on drugs for years now. How can I do it? I've tried to do all that I can to provide solution to this problem. This is indeed going to be a help to this generation, honestly. So I have what is known a 40 days challenge. So truly, if you want to get well and live well, you got to take the 40 days challenge. I've given it in this book. I've given it in this book. So with the 40 days program, you can reverse hypertension. Truly? Yes. You can reverse diabetes. You can reverse arthritis. But there are some of these conditions that may not be just these 40 days, that may need to take a little longer. Some may be 90 days, some may be 120 days. But that as long as you are consistent with the program, I can assure you that what would have taken you to UK, to China, to India, will end up here in Nigeria, and you smile at the comfort of your home. You can reverse heart disease and many other chronic diseases. Okay? So, just as I have said again and again, you can accept to reverse any ailment by changing your lifestyle and diet, or die with the sickness untimely. Two choices. Do something that may not have been doing, or decide to die untimely with your disease. These are two things you must take one. You must take one. So I have prepared for a 40 days or 40-day challenge or 40-day disease recovery program, which has been proven, scientifically proven, okay, to work for many. So if it works for many, it will work for you too. All right, it will work for you too. Now in chapter 13, I talk about the power to deal with infertility. Last week in my radio program, I talked about infertility, and I actually looked at the faces of the young people of today, and I told them a number of things. So in this book, I tried to look at the different factors that contribute to infertility, and not just that, I also tried as much as I can to provide solutions. So in chapter 14, I want to deal with infertility, which has wickedly plagued a lot of men and women. I hear many men say that it is not their problem, it is a woman's problem. This is not true. Research shows that men have their share of infertility, while women have theirs too. In our contemporary society, most men without an average understanding of how the human body works blame their wives, whereas they are confronted with such problem. Okay, so there are so many factors that can cause infertility in men and in women. So when you read this book, you're going to learn a number of things that can contribute to infertility and what you can do to reverse the infertility. But earlier the better. Okay, that's what I tell mostly the women. The earlier the better. Okay, because as women age from 25 up to 30, the possibility of pregnancy reduce, to as much as 30%, no, 70%. You get to 35, it reduces like that, so as you are aging, the chances of being pregnant keeps on reducing by your age. So you got to do it better. So in chapter 14, which is the last chapter of this book, well, this book is just a tip of the iceberg of all the information I have for you in terms of health. But I've given you key information in this book to help you live a healthy life. Managing your weight for sound health. You see people in the society today who are bulky, especially men. Men, when men have their big tummy, they will be proud. They pride themselves with the big tummy, happy, thinking they are healthy and all of that. I tell people that 1 year, okay, let me put it this way, that 1 kg addition to your weight is 1 year subtraction from your life. So assuming your weight now is 105, okay, kg, and then you're supposed to be naturally you're supposed to be about 80. That means 105 minus 25, you have 80 left. So unconsciously, you have subtracted 25 years from your age, from your life. So that weight alone can cut short your life. Quote me anywhere. So managing your weight for sound health, how to reduce excess weight. Before now, those with heavy body, size or body buildup use it to pride themselves. Little did they know that excess weight is excess luggage. Excess weight is a capital minus to health. Excess weight, obesity, morbidity, obese scarcely meet target. Yes, the obese people scarcely meet target. Reason being that they are often being weighed down. Yes, you can't walk like your friend, you can't run like your friends, you can't climb the staircase, you can't climb the story building, maybe 10 floors or 7 floors. You look for a lifter to take you up. So a standard weight considers height in proportion to body weight, body mass index. It is those who understand the implication of excess weight that care about reducing the weight. So the major cause of untimely death in the present society has been heart, disease, which is traceable to excess weight. So my dear brother, I think I've given you a what we may call the highlight or a summary of what this book is all about. So we do now begin to ask, what is in this book? What is in this book? Even though I'm not giving you everything that is in this book, but I believe that with these few highlights, you'll be able to know that this book contains power to stay healthy. Thank you very much.